Alright guys, welcome back. GM Light here. Today we're going to be talking about Boogeyman 2005. So we're about a month away from an adaptation of Stephen King's Boogeyman short story. Although that, this movie and the movie that's coming out next month, they don't really have much in common besides the name. They still kind of pull from that similar Boogeyman type folklore. I thought it would be a good time to talk about that movie from 2005 and, maybe even the whole series. I'll see how I feel. So let's get into it. So this is a movie that I have a lot of nostalgia for. I remember being a kid, my dad kind of luring the boogeyman over my head and it being a concept that really scared me, and the folklore kind of was pretty freaky to me. And then seeing that they were making a movie, seeing that they were adapting this creature, it had a lot of anticipation in my eyes. It was like something that I was like pretty freaked out about. The marketing was good, not showing the boogeyman. So letting my mind do the imagination of what this thing could look like was very effective, scared the shit out of me, and I was not sleeping because of that. So I finally rewatched it, and unfortunately it didn't age particularly well. There's so many factors that just detract from it, and it's very much of its time. But first, let's get into the positives. What I'll say is that although it comes off as a pretty stupid horror movie at times, it definitely isn't trying to be stupid. It's trying to be a little bit more elevated, if you know what I mean. I like that approach to the boogeyman, that what he is more than just what's at surface value. Like, he's not just a monster that eats kids and comes out of closets. Like, he's a manifestation of fears, and you're not supposed to take him 100% completely literally. And that's what I find interesting about this approach. Although they get very melodramatic in the movie, they do treat it with a level of seriousness that I think was good. They have a lot to say about phobias and, the way that kids who never get over things like that, and they never actually spend time confronting these things and these issues, they go on to be lifelong problems. So I was very on base with that. They also did the smart thing by just keeping this creature in the dark for most of the movie, which we'll get to eventually, trust me. But they do try to retain that element of mystery, keep him in the dark, keep him a creature of mystery. Moments like seeing just a dark figure just skate across the camera, that stuff works for me pretty decently well. They're good scares, and again, it's like I said, what scared me about the marketing was that they would leave everything that was freaking me out was all in my imagination. Everything was left to the imagination. That's what made it work. And it is a movie that tries to retain a pretty emotionally resonant story, but then it flies off the fucking handle. I don't know what to tell you. Builds up the tension well, but my god, when they get to that boogeyman reveal, I was not expecting that. I don't remember it being like that. I don't remember it looking that bad, that CGI-ish. I feel like I had a completely different memory in my head of what that thing looked like, and it's just hilarious. You can't take it seriously at all. Any potency, anything that this movie was trying to do, anything serious, it just sucks the air out of the room when you have such a bad CGI abomination like what they showed us. I actually think that the ending was pretty powerful, with him destroying all of his childhood toys and all those things, kind of just what he sees in the dark being an amalgamation of everything he's afraid of, using that to defeat the boogeyman. It all worked, but the way it looked so crazy, it looked so ridiculous. I can't imagine being in the theaters and everything building up to this creature reveal and then seeing that fucking thing. Super silly, super goofy, completely pulls anything out that the movie had going in. Totally derails the momentum that the movie had, but I'm also not going to act like it came completely out of nowhere. There's a lot of silly dialogue. They have weird 2000's cuts, editing, all that flashy stuff. It's very apparent that it's an early 2000's movie. It looks very much of its time. It's edited very much of its time. People talk very much of that time. It's very melodramatic. It's very dark and somber, but then some things are just so stupid. Some things he says are so stupid that it takes you completely out of the movie. It's a pretty somber movie, and the plot line's straightforward enough. He's going back to his childhood home after his mother passes away, but he's got a lot of unfinished business because he thinks the boogeyman took his dad. That leaves a lot of room, plot lines, all that you could explore the psychology of this character, and that is something that they seem keen on doing. They don't do it expertly. They don't do it very well even, but they do try to do it, and then by the back end of the movie, it just completely unravels into absolute silliness with this CGI monster chasing him around the house. And in concept, I really dig how they did that ending, what they did, how it was executed, completely different story, and it's just mainly this CGI abomination of a creature completely ruins it. I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of other people have said before. I still think there's some redeeming factors with it. I'd say it's still worth a watch. Maybe you have to be a little bit hammered to enjoy it better, but I I don't know, whatever you prefer. But still though, I have that nostalgia glasses on. I don't think it's as terrible as a lot of other people think, but I was still disappointed. Still did not hold up. It's not a good movie. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have you seen The Boogeyman? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on it. If you have any experiences with this movie, love to hear about it. Have a good one.